Who wants to start?
How's the ankle holding up?
The ankle? What? Whose ankle?
Your ankle.
My ankle? Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's funny because people say they know whenever I'm walking down the hall because it's just popping, it's just playing, and that's funny. No, yeah, it's good. It's good.
How have you just seen your guys respond now that shoulder pads are on?
Good. I think you see the physicality. Like you can do nowadays a lot with walkthroughs stuff in the summer, and then especially the first 2 days just in helmets. But you get to really be able to see the physicality. Kind of really get to see how a lot of guys' bodies have changed throughout the summer. The strength and conditioning plan that we've had here has been excellent. To be able to see that really flourish and showcase when we put pads on, and you see guys being able to go out there and play really physical football, but also not losing the details that we've really installed throughout the summer and the first couple of days of camp.
The other part too, you want your guys playing fast, not
Yeah.
thinking as much. Has there been many mental hiccups early on?
Yeah, I mean, there's some here and there, but I think the one thing about the group that we have is they're really sharp mentally, extremely smart. There's mistakes. Every day we're going to make a mistake here and there, but continue to be able to challenge those guys, being able to have that one play focus of, okay, we made a mistake. What's your response going to be, right? Not letting that one play turn into two. So trying to eliminate as many of those as possible, right? But they show up here and there and be able to really attack those.
You also, it was really important at this point of the off season to make sure your 5 guys start building that chemistry. How have you seen that process, especially with Tegra out?
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think the one thing about our unit is we're really close, like off the field. Like those guys hang around each other. They're a very connected unit. So I think that because there's going to be things that happen throughout the season. So I think being able to change the lineups, the blue and white teams that we've done has been really good for us. So I think that it's been really good. I think it starts with our connection off the field and not showing up on the field with the different lineups that we've been able to play with. And as that continues to go through camp.
What's the process of figuring out just what your guys do best, whether it's combo? How do you figure all that out?
Yeah, I think that's through repetition. I think that's through individual. I think that's being able to talk and be able to watch film together, right? Being able to see the game with one set of eyes. I think that's just through practice and what we have to do every single day. And I think we started that process in spring, right? Going through spring, going through summer, how different plays, how guys, like every person's a little bit different, how they be able to react to different things. So I think that process started in the spring and continuing to be able to find out what we do best and be able to know here pretty soon what we're going to be able to hang our hat on.
Do you think you had a leader through summer that before you got to training camp and kind of took over?
Yeah, I think, somebody like Coleton Price has been able to lead this unit, I think, since he's got here. I think it didn't take until the summer, right? You hear his voice, and we continue to be able to push him, right? Continue to be able to push guys like Lance and Mal, who's been here, and throughout that unit. And like I say, like leadership doesn't have an age requirement, right? You can be a freshman, you could be a senior, it doesn't matter, right? Like leadership is something that you be able to do, doesn't matter how old you are. So Lance shows up there, right? Coleton shows up there, right? Some of those older guys, but really pushing the whole unit.
Jordan Knox is one of those guys who signed right after Will got
Yeah.
hired. What have you seen? Kind of work his way.
Yeah, I thought he's done an outstanding job. There's somebody that comes to work every single day, and you can see him taking the meeting room out to the field. You can be able to see him have those corrections. All right, maybe we messed something up, or maybe somebody else did, and he goes out there and he makes a correction. I think he's done an outstanding job of being able to play with the physicality that's required to be able to play with this unit, but also he's extremely mentally sharp and very small, minor misassignments at times, just like everybody else. But he's done a fabulous job being able to play with the physicality that was required, and then he's extremely smart. He's done a really good job for us since he's been here.
It seems like you got several guys who can play guard and
Yeah.
tackle. How does that factor into your tackle depth? And how you
Yeah, I think that we have guys that can be able to play both, right? I think guys that we have guards that can be able to move out to tackle, which helps us there with the flexibility that we can be able to move guys around. But that's extremely important, right? I think throughout fall camp we're going to be able to play with different lineups. That's what the blue and white teams help us do, right? Manufacture those, and maybe you'll see some guys at some different spots here and there just to be able to make sure we're prepared for the fall for whatever happens.
Malachi, we didn't really see him last year.
Yeah.
So what has he shown you in the last 8 months or whatever to prove that, okay, this guy can play?
Yeah, I think whenever I first got here, like, I mean, you look at him and you're like, man, this is a massive human being, right? And then you be able to really start working with him, and you see how smart he is and how well he can be able to bend, right? People that size normally don't have the hip flexibility, the ankle flexibility to be able to sink their hips and be able to explode through blocks and finish blocks. And you see that consistently with how he plays. So he bends at an unbelievable, like for how big he is, he bends extremely well. You see his strain and his finish consistently show up. And so he's somebody that I think has continued to take strides, getting better and better since we've been here. And a great kid too.
Tell people, kind of explain for the fans, how important is it for a guy to be able to bend and have that kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to bend to be able to play with really good pad level, right? Like you want to be able to make sure your screws are their screws, and we're sinking our hips. And if you can't bend playing offensive line, like you can't go very far, right? That ankle, knee, hip flexibility is extremely important. Can't be a waist bender. You got to be able to bend at the knees and sink your hips and be able to explode through blocks. It's something that we've really preached.
Still pretty early in practice at this stage, but have you noticed really anybody on the defensive line that's really standing out, that's giving your unit some, not necessarily problems, but that's really testing them in a good way?
Yeah, I think CJ's done an excellent job. I think Gatson's a really good player. I think Q and Chops, like all those guys, have done an excellent job being able to push our unit. I think the one thing that we're two, the offensive line and defensive line going against each other every single day. We're making each other better, sharpening iron. I think that defensive line unit does an excellent job. Coach Stu, T-Dub does an excellent job coaching the defensive line unit. It's just making us better every day.
You touched on it a little bit there with iron sharpens iron,
Yeah.
but this team has been known so well for having such a great defensive
Yeah.
line. Is that a big asset for your group as well, that they get to go against one of the better defensive
Huge,
lines?
right? I mean, like we get to be able to go up against one of the best defensive lines in the SEC every day in practice throughout summer and spring ball. So like we've been able to see our guys going up against elite competition every single day, and so that's huge for an offensive line to be able to go against that.
How close are you all to figuring out how many linemen you want to play in a game, basically how much you want to rotate?
Yeah, I think throughout fall we'll be able to get to know that. I think some of the scrimmage days here coming up on Saturday will be huge. Getting in Kroger Field, being able to see how they be able to react and the environment and being in there and scrimmaging at the time that we're going to play our first couple games. So I think that will really be a big test for us mentally and physically to be able to see. But I'm if you earn the trust and you're detailed and you give the effort that's required to be able to play, like we're gonna play the best 5 guys.
How is Selm coming along?
I was doing a really good job. He's somebody that attacks rehab every single day. Another sharp guy. We're really looking forward to be able to get him fully back from injury, but we're taking the necessary steps required for him to be able to be 100%. Is that it?
Coach said that bending, very important part of offensive line. So would you describe yourself as bending?
Yeah, I would say I have pretty good bend. I definitely can take on the bull rush pretty well. I would say that's one of my good factors about me. I have good leverage, can get real low and reverse that on them. So I would say bending is one of the biggest keys in our offensive line you got to have.
They've also talked a lot about just communication. Does it, I don't want to say natural, but does you all feel comfortable in the way you all are on the same page on that?
Yeah. You got to be all on the same page for you guys to do a great job up front. Communication is one of the biggest things in our offense and our whole entire team. You got to have communication to do the right play. It helps with being alert of certain looks, getting everyone on the same page, like I said already. But communication is one of the biggest things for sure.
How much does it help that you've got guys who can play guard and tackle and kind of at least have knowledge of all the positions?
Oh yeah, you got a guy that knows all positions, and you got a guy that doesn't. The guy that knows all positions is probably going to be the better player. And so if you know every job on the O-line and you know what everyone's doing at the same time, you know what's going on in the whole entire offense, then you're going to play faster, you're going to play more smooth, you're going to understand the whole entire scheme, and you're going to understand why you're doing certain blocks. And so I think it's one of the biggest things you got to have.
How much is that a balance, though, in terms of needing to know what everybody's doing, but not needing to get so focused on everything everyone's doing that you don't do your side?
Right. I would say it's more of like being alert of it. And so that's what I like to say. I understand that if I get certain looks on defense, I know what everyone else is doing, so I'm alert of if they get this front or if they do this pressure, then I know what I'm doing based off that. And so I'm not thinking about their job too much. Obviously, I got to think about mine, but understanding everyone's job is going to make me play better for sure.
You keep racking in some preseason awards. What do you think about some of those accolades, and how do you kind of set some goals based on those?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I would say it's a reflection of what the unit is. I would say it's pretty cool to get preseason accolades and stuff all over the board for Lance and myself. But like I said, it's a reflection of the unit, and you can show that when it comes to season. I mean, we don't have the award yet in our hands, so.
Coleton, you, Lance, and Tegra all have started multiple years at the Power 4 level. How do you see that translating?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us guys did pretty well at our past schools, and so I think we can just do a way better job here and reflect off that and keep growing day by day, and I think it's going to show itself.
Looked like Coach Stein was taking some snaps
Yeah,
recently.
yeah.
How would you grade him?
I'd grade him a 10 out of 10, for sure. It's pretty good, pretty good.
Is that, do you have to do that a ton with Kenny? Like, how is that?
Yeah, I mean, the more you can get snaps, the more you can be more comfortable under center or in the gun, and so yeah, me and him get snaps multiple times throughout the day, and so I think it helps me and it helps him. You know, a quarterback being comfortable where the snap is consistently is going to make his game better along with myself. So.
Have you gone under center before?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah. We do that multiple times. Go from the gun, go under center. We change it up every once in a while, just depending on what scheme we're running.
Is it intimidating though when your head coach is taking a snap and you can't?
I mean, yeah,
mess
look,
it up?
you could say there's some pressure there, but no, it was pretty cool to do that.
Coach kind of praised your leadership ability here earlier. What was the challenge upon getting here and having so many new guys, especially that O-line,
Right.
so many new faces, about earning that
Right.
respect so quickly?
Yeah, I'd say it starts with the work that we put out on the field. I mean, if you don't put work out on the field, no one's gonna second what you say. You know what I mean? And so when you're getting out there, you got to make sure you're doing your job, making sure you're doing more than your job, and continuing to push the guys around you. But like understanding, like yes, when we first got here, everyone's from different places. Everyone has different traits that they're bringing to the table. We're still getting to know each other, and so just understanding who is, and that goes into the connection part and the brotherhood, and figuring out who each other is during the spring, and then during the summer, we're working out together. Just building that connection part, building that brotherhood, and the leadership comes with it. So.
Anything uncomfortable about that at first, or did you just say, I'm taking the reins?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say I immediately jumped into the spot. I think we have leadership all over the board, not just me. I think that I gradually worked into it. I wanted to understand, like, get the boys' approval a little bit, almost like being together. Like I said, it's a brotherhood. Like, it's not just me being a leader out there. It's younger guys. It's older guys. It's whoever wants to step up to the plate and say something and be okay with that. And so we're not okay with watching someone mess up and not saying anything about it. If someone messes up, someone's got to say something, not just me. And so I think the leadership's all over the board, and I think it's pretty good.
Coleton, someone can correct me if I have the wrong number. I think I saw this stat that last season you only gave up one sack, like 529 passes.
Yes, sir.
Do you actually remember like what game that was, exactly what happened? Or could you not even know if the word?
I really don't remember, to be honest.
I didn't know if it's one that you just replay over and over. Like
Right, no,
one time.
I get a sack. I mean, I forget about it, go to the next play. I mean, obviously, I don't want to let up sacks for sure, but yeah, I try to forget about them.
You finally got to put the pads on. How fired up was the offensive line when you actually got to use your hands and hit some people?
Yeah, I mean, one-on-ones and team run periods are definitely different whenever you got pads on. You ain't sliding all over the place, but it's great, man. I mean, be able to put the pads on, be able to hear that clacking in the shoulder pads, be able to hit helmet to helmet. I mean, it's a great feeling. Yeah, the hand placements and the footwork and all goes along with that, but it's great to get in there.
Do you have a favorite defensive lineman to go against in those one-on-one drills?
Yeah, I mean, I think Gadsden, and I think Big K, man, Chops as well. I mean, they all give me 3 different kinds of rushes. I mean, it's going to work my game way better, and so I think those are some 3 really good players interior-wise if they do play. I mean, they give me really good work.
So far, throughout the first 4 practices, I've been at guard the whole time, but also was talking with coach, and we're gonna mix in some tackle reps just to stay on top of that and keep the touch up at play and tackle as well later on in camp.
How much does it help just knowing both positions and having other guys across the line know all the positions across the line?
Yeah, I think to be the best possible O-lineman you can be, you got to know what all five are doing. You can't just know one position. You can't just know your job because we all work together. So the more you know, and you got to know what everybody's doing. I got to know what Lance is going to do. I got to know what Coleton is going to do. So that's going to help all of us. We all got to know that. Even Coleton has to know what the tackles are doing to make his job easier.
What's it like just lining up next to Coleton?
I love playing next to Coleton. He's a true leader, veteran center, very physical in the double teams, and I couldn't wish to play with a better center than him.
How quickly can everybody get comfortable playing with each other? Because it's one thing to know the assignments, but it's got to be another thing to actually go out and do that.
Yeah, I think that started in January when we all came in. We had to learn each other. Helps that everybody's a veteran guy, older guys, played a lot of ball. We can talk through things and be on the same page, and then it's just us getting together. Hey, let's go and walk through this combo block after practice, see how our footwork is, things like that to help us be on the same page.
How just fun was it to finally get shoulder pads on and actually hit people?
Yeah, I mean, during the summer you run a lot, you lift a lot, so it's awesome to get the shoulder pads on and finally get to be physical.
Olaus, obviously you've played a lot in college over 3 years, but how eager are you to kind of prove yourself as one of the guys?
Definitely, I think this season is a big opportunity for our whole unit. We got to go out there and prove that we're one of the best O-lines in the country, and I think it starts with all of us up front, and it's very exciting to have that opportunity.
Anybody else? All right, thanks.